When you start putting a girl above yourself, you won't get the response you hope for. Instead of treating you like an equal, she'll treat you like a celebrity treats a fan, nice when it's convenient, but never truly invested. Think about it. You meet someone, the connection feels real, the chemistry is undeniable, but over time, you begin elevating her. You prioritize her needs over your own, seeking her attention and validation, and that's when things start to shift. She pulls back, texts less, acts distant, and you feel the change. Trust me, I've been there, and I learned this lesson the hard way. I remember a time when I thought that if I just showered a woman with attention and affection, she would naturally return those feelings. So I went all in, texting her constantly, planning every date, making sure she was always my top priority. But instead of bringing us closer, it created distance, and I couldn't figure out why. The truth is, when you act like you're always on call for her, she stops seeing you as someone special. It's like the more I tried to give, the more she pulled away. It's not about the effort, it's about how you value yourself. If you recognize this dynamic, it's time to make a change. Once you understand this, everything shifts. Let me explain why and how to fix it. Quick reminder, the course is officially open and most spots are already taken. Don't wait around thinking you have time. You don't. The girl you want, someone else will take her if you don't learn these secrets, and you will be stuck wondering what went wrong. This is your chance to level up and leave your old self behind. This is the last time you'll get it at this price. Next time, it will cost more. Time's running out. Don't let this opportunity slip by. Point 2. Confidence is key. You ever noticed how some guys who aren't even the best looking or the wealthiest, still have women completely drawn to them? Meanwhile, other guys who do everything right, who treat her like a queen and do all the right things, somehow still get ghosted. I had a friend like that. Good guy, smart, successful, took care of himself, but every time he started dating someone, the same thing happened. At first, everything seemed great, but then, like clockwork, they'd lose interest. He'd overanalyze every little detail, wondering what went wrong. One day, he opened up to me and told me exactly how he approached dating. He was always worried about saying the right thing. He overthought every text. Should I wait an hour before replying? Should I keep it short? Should I add an emoji? He made sure the girl always felt comfortable, never disagreed with her, and always played it safe. And that's when I had to hit him with the truth. I said, bro, you're not being you. You're being what you think they want, and that's exactly why they're losing interest. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. Women don't want a guy who's constantly second-guessing himself, overthinking every interaction. They don't want someone who's walking on eggshells, trying to meet someone else's expectations, and constantly seeking approval. Women want someone who is secure in himself, who's confident enough to be himself. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real, comfortable, and unapologetically you. Confidence isn't about doing everything right. It's about having the courage to be authentic, even if it means not pleasing everyone. Women are drawn to men who are comfortable in their own skin, who can take risks, tease a little, challenge her, and be a little unpredictable. When you stop trying so hard to make everything perfect, you create space for something real and genuine to develop. So my friend took the advice. He stopped filtering himself. He stopped worrying about the right way to text, to act, or to behave. Instead, he let his personality come through, his humor, his opinions, his true self. And guess what? Suddenly, women started responding to him differently. They were drawn to him in ways they never were before. The key wasn't about following a set of rules. It was about embracing who he was and being confident in it. Confidence isn't about arrogance or trying to impress. It's about knowing your worth, being grounded in who you are, and valuing yourself first. The moment you do that, everything changes. You stop seeking validation, and when that happens, your energy becomes magnetic. People are drawn to that kind of presence. When you stop worrying about the right thing to say, when you stop pretending to be something you're not, that's when you become someone others want to be around. Point 3. The power of walking away. Here's where most guys get it wrong. They meet someone they really like, someone they think could be the one, and suddenly she becomes the center of their world. Every text from her feels like a small victory. Every minute of silence, every delayed response feels like a crisis. They drop everything in their life to be available for her at all times, trying to make sure they never seem distant. They overthink every message, analyzing if they're saying the right things, if they're texting at the right time, if they're doing enough to keep her interested. And before they know it, they're overgiving, overinvesting, and trying way too hard. And what happens? Attraction fades. That's the irony. The moment you make someone feel like they're your everything too soon, you change the entire dynamic. The excitement fades, the chase stops being fun, the challenge is gone. Attraction starts to die because relationships shouldn't feel like one person is giving and the other is taking all the time. When you place someone on a pedestal, when you make them the focal point of your entire existence, you unconsciously lose your power and you unknowingly create a one-sided dynamic. Instead of her feeling drawn to you, she starts feeling overwhelmed, suffocated by how much importance you're placing on her. And that's when things start slipping away. That's why the power of walking away is so critical. And I'm not talking about walking away in some dramatic, I'm done forever kind of way. No, that's not the kind of power I'm referring to. What I mean is, you have to have the emotional strength and confidence to know when to step back, when to recognize that you're starting to put more effort into the relationship than the other person. You need to show, with your actions, that while you want her, you don't need her. That shift in mindset is incredibly powerful. Neediness kills attraction. The more you chase, the more you make her feel like she is the most important thing in your life, the more likely you are to push her away. Why? Because neediness communicates a lack of self-worth. It signals that you don't believe you're enough, and when people get that energy, they tend to distance themselves. They can feel the desperation, even if it's subtle. No one wants to feel responsible for someone else's emotional happiness, but self-respect, that's what's magnetic. When you show up in a relationship with the understanding that your happiness isn't dependent on anyone else, you create an atmosphere of confidence. When you walk away, not because you're angry, but because you're asserting your value, you communicate that you value yourself enough not to tolerate anything less than the respect and attention you deserve. And that's incredibly attractive. Think about it. Who do people respect more? The guy who stays in a situation where he's being treated as an afterthought, always putting someone else's needs and wants above his own, or the guy who knows his worth, who values himself enough to not tolerate being treated badly or with indifference? The second guy, every time. When you stop chasing, when you start valuing yourself, everything shifts. You're no longer emotionally dependent on her approval. You don't constantly need to know where things stand. And that confidence isn't just attractive, it's powerful. People, including women, begin to treat you differently because they feel that you're different. They feel the change in your energy. You're no longer the person who will bend over backward to get someone's attention. You're the person who commands respect because you give it to yourself first. The power of walking away isn't about being cold or playing games. It's about recognizing your own worth and not settling for anything less than that. So the next time someone isn't treating you the way you deserve, when you feel disrespected, when you feel like you're just an afterthought or someone who's being taken for granted, don't beg for their attention. Don't plead with them to see your value. Just walk away. The most attractive thing you can be is a man who knows exactly when to leave. The ability to walk away from a situation that no longer serves you is a direct reflection of your self-respect and emotional strength. It sends a clear message: I'm worthy of more than this, and I won't settle for less. That's the kind of power that draws people in, not just women, but everyone in your life. People are attracted to those who don't fear losing anything because they know they have everything they need within themselves. Point 4. Emotional control. We've all been there. You send that one extra text when you know you shouldn't. You feel the sting of her delayed response, and suddenly your entire mood shifts. You start over-analyzing everything. Why hasn't she replied? Is she losing interest? Should I send another message? That, right there, is a perfect example of emotional weakness, and it's one of the biggest turn-offs you can put out into the world. Let me tell you about a guy I knew. He was madly in love with this woman. At first, everything was perfect. They had great conversations, a strong connection, and things seemed to be heading in the right direction. But then, little by little, he started to get emotionally dependent on her. If she didn't respond quickly, he would spiral. He'd check his phone over and over, waiting for that buzz of a new text. If she seemed distant or didn't seem as engaged as usual, he'd panic. He couldn't focus on anything else. His whole world became consumed by waiting for her response. Every little thing felt like a signal of something bigger, and with each passing moment, his anxiety grew. Eventually, she told him, "I feel trapped." And just like that, she was gone. Why? Because when you allow your emotions to dictate your behavior, you lose control of the situation. You're no longer operating from a place of confidence or strength. You're coming from a place of fear and insecurity. And when you project that kind of energy, it's impossible to sustain attraction. Here's the thing, confidence is not just about how you talk or how you carry yourself. It's about how you handle pressure. It's about the ability to remain calm and grounded no matter what happens. Women, and people in general, are drawn to those who can maintain their composure under pressure, who don't let their emotions rule their actions. It's the person who stays steady in the face of uncertainty that naturally commands respect. If she takes hours to reply, it's no big deal. Instead of scrambling for answers, you stay focused on your own life, knowing that her delay in texting has nothing to do with your value. If she's acting distant, you don't react emotionally. You simply observe. You maintain your inner peace, trusting that things will unfold as they will. This is the ultimate display of self-assurance. When you show that nothing can shake you, that you're not rattled by a delay or a change in her behavior, you instantly increase your own value in her eyes. People want to be around someone who is grounded, someone who has control over their emotions and doesn't let external circumstances dictate their mood. The key to emotional control is to stop chasing and start leading. When you're chasing, you're putting the power in someone else's hands, hoping for their validation or approval. But when you take charge of your own emotions, when you stop seeking reassurance from others and start creating your own sense of security, that's when the power dynamic shifts. Women, people in general, are drawn to strength, to the person who doesn't need constant external validation to feel complete. When you stop chasing, when you stop overanalyzing every text, and when you stop putting all your energy into someone else's actions, that's when the tables turn. That's when they start chasing you. You've become the person who has his own life, his own purpose, and his own sense of emotional stability. You're no longer at the mercy of anyone's approval, and that's incredibly attractive. Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending to be indifferent. It's about owning your emotions, accepting them, and choosing not to let them control your actions. It's about having the strength to stay centered and calm no matter what happens in your relationship. And this, my friend, is one of the most powerful things you can bring into any relationship. Because when you lead with emotional control, you'll find that not only do you become more attractive to others, but you also develop a deeper sense of self-respect that no one can take away from you. Point 5. How to turn it all around. At the end of the day, this isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate people into liking you. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not or waiting for the perfect moment to make your move. No, the real key is something deeper. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally draws people in because of who he is, not because of what he does to gain approval. This starts with one very simple but powerful truth. You have to be enough for yourself first. Think about it for a second. How often have you found yourself making someone else the center of your universe? You put all your energy, your time, and your happiness into them, hoping that they'll fill that gap in your life. Maybe it's a girl, maybe it's a friend, or even a family member, but the result is always the same. You give away your power. The moment your happiness depends on someone else, you've lost control of your own life. You start second-guessing every decision, overthinking every text, and constantly wondering if you're doing enough to keep them interested. And do you know what happens then? They lose interest. Why? Because neediness is not attractive, and people can feel when you're desperately looking for their validation. When you make someone your whole world, they'll start to feel like they're suffocating. The very thing you're craving, connection, becomes a burden. So how do you break this cycle? The first and most important step is realizing that you need a life outside of your relationships. You need something that excites you. goals that drive you, passions that fuel you, and standards that keep you grounded. You need to be doing things for yourself, not to earn someone else's approval. Because here's the truth. When you love your life and you're genuinely happy with who you are, you'll never feel desperate for someone else to complete it. You are already whole. You're not searching for someone to fill a void. You're already aligned with your own purpose and happiness, and that's what makes you attractive. I've seen this transformation happen over and over again. I've watched guys who were once obsessed with every little detail, overthinking every word, every action, every silence, turn it all around just by focusing on themselves. Suddenly they were hitting the gym, working on their mindset, leveling up in every area of their lives. Their confidence shot through the roof. And you know what happened next? Everything changed. Instead of obsessing over who liked them or who was texting them back, they were now focused on building their own life. They had their own purpose, their own mission, and as they became less concerned with others' opinions, they became magnetic. Here's the shift. When you stop chasing, the right people start chasing you. That's the paradox that most people never understand. They think they have to chase to earn attention, but in reality, the most powerful thing you can do is stop chasing altogether. When you stop running after people, when you stop bending over backward to please them, you send a powerful message that you value yourself, that you're not going to settle for anything less than respect and genuine connection. And that's when people start noticing you in a way they never did before. The guy who used to constantly check his phone for replies, he's not doing that anymore. He's busy focusing on his goals, improving himself, living his life. Now, instead of being the one hoping someone will like him, he's the one choosing who deserves his time and energy. That's the power of self-respect. When you stop needing validation from others, you create a magnetic energy that draws people in naturally. Let me tell you something else. People want to be around someone who is secure in who they are. They want to be around someone who isn't constantly looking for approval or seeking attention. And when you embody this kind of confidence, people feel it. They feel your worth because you're not desperate for theirs. They want to be in your presence because you're no longer seeking theirs. So, here's what you need to do. Don't wait for someone else to make you feel worthy. Stop looking for external validation to boost your self-esteem. Become the guy who doesn't chase after people, who doesn't overthink every interaction, and who knows his worth without needing anyone else to confirm it. Do that, and watch how fast everything changes for you. Watch how your relationships shift. Watch how your confidence soars. Watch how people start respecting you more, and how you naturally attract the right kinds of people into your life. Before we end, most of you will never get real advice about women. You're guessing, messing up DMs, ruining relationships, and feeling lost. Here's the truth. I'm the only one who can actually help you get real results. And for the first time ever, I'm offering something I've never done before. A personal one-on-one chat with me. You'll get direct advice on your specific issues, whether it's DMing, sex, relationships, or anything else. No fluff, just real answers. We can even work together on a chat with a girl to make her go out on a date with you live. This is a game changer. It's you and me, one-on-one. No more wasting time on advice that doesn't work. I've got 4 packages available. Choose what is better for you, but this is only for guys who are serious about leveling up, and VIP spots are limited. Link is in the description. Let's get started. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment down your thoughts. See you in the next one.